Once upon a time, in 3rd century BC, a king was ruling Syracuse. His name was Hiero. He commissioned a new crown to the goldsmith, and he was given with a solid gold to accomplish the task. After few days later, the goldsmith returned to the court with a crown, which was made by him. At that time, Syracuse was the hub for commerce and science for the whole. In those days, people awareness increased towards metallurgy. They remixed the metals with silver and bronze to falsify the people. So, the king suspected the goldsmith. So, the king wants to know whether any misleading made by him in the making process of crown, but without harming the crown, not by breaking or cracking the crown. The king Hiero asked a young scholar who was born in the island of Sicily, near to Syracuse. He was the son of Phidias, well known as mathematician and astronomer in those days. The young scholar agreed to solve the riddle. He was embarrassed and went to take bath. While he taking the bath, he was astonished by the magic myth made by water in the bathtub. And he was lightened by a conception about reality. With that enthusiasm, having no idea of wearing the clothes, he ran through the streets, exclaiming, "Eureka!" Meaning that, "I found it," in the language of Greek. He was none other than Archimedes. One of the greatest minds, showed us the dawn of tomorrow. And with his intellectual brain, he protected the people of Syracuse for nearly 2 years during the war against the Rome.
What do you think if someone speaks about weight? It's the force experienced by one of the fundamental forces acting in the nature. Most nominally it's gravity, for our surroundings. Let's think this quest in another way. What happens to the weight of something, say weight of a boat, if it is floats over the surface of the water? With the general observation, we can easily say that the boat weight reduces. Because it's floating on the water, and its weight reduces, due to buoyant force of water, pushes it in the upward direction. This is very well known to all as the Archimedes principle. But consider a moment and think this issue in the other way. If the water expels the exact quantity of water, which will equal to the weight of object dipped in water, there is a possibility of pushing the air around any object which has mass. This contradiction will happen in the real life. That means, Archimedes' principle validates on both liquids and gases, or say, in the air. If you consider this dilemma, in liquids, we can determine the expelled water quantity by the density of the object. Meaning that, weight of the object reduces in the water. This reduction of weight is exactly equals to the water expelled due to the buoyant force. And this force is governed by the density of the object. And if we consider the gases, more likely to say, in the Earth atmosphere, which has air, like a thin layer on an apple, the actual weight of the object reduces, due to the effectiveness of air buoyant force, which acts against, to the gravity. And in this scenario, we determine the expelled gas, by the volume of the object. It's clear that, the object which has more volume, regardless of density, it pushes the air, and occupies the space. And, wood has more volume, if we compared it with steel. If we tried to figure out, the volume of wood, for a ton of weight, it approximately about 2 cubic meter. And wood occupies nearly 15 times more area, than the space occupied by the steel, for the same quantity of weight. By considering above parameters, the wood removes about 2.5 kilograms of air, and occupies that space. So, the object which has more volume, will lose its weight, in the Earth's atmosphere, by the buoyant force of air, on the thing. Meaning that, the science provides a great weapon, for our survival, and for our existence, only until the thing is done, which is unimaginable to us.
This episode is inspired by the story A Ton of Wood and A Ton of Steel in the book Physics in Daily Life by Pixbay. Thank you for supporting us for making these stuff. You can provide contribution for our channel by going to patreon.com/skacademy. Patreon provides funding from all over the world for science-related work. Link is given in the description below. Subscribe to our channel and tap the bell icon so that next time you won't miss our videos.